What's up everybody, Bandit here. So today we're doing what is probably TacomaWorld's favorite mod for these new 3rd gen Tacomas, and we're going to be adding some more power to the truck. Now to start off with, we will be using a 93 octane fuel. More octane equals more power, so we'll go ahead and get the truck filled up. So there are two versions of this tune available, one that uses 87 octane and one that actually runs 91 octane. Now obviously here in Virginia we don't get 91 octane. We have a 89 octane mid-grade and 93 in premium. So we're going to go ahead and use that 93 octane for the 91 octane tune. So as you can see here, the truck is all gassed up, and we did fill up with premium fuel. We get 93 octane here in the part of Virginia where we live, and premium fuel should equate to more power. Also, you can see that we're nearly at 33,000 miles, so the truck should be plenty broken in. We should not be experiencing any kind of fuel economy benefits or power benefits because the truck is continuing to break in. So all in all, every change that we see to the truck will be because of this modification. Also, we'll scroll down here and you can see my average fuel economy is just over 20 and a half. It does fluctuate between 20 and a half and 21 depending on the type of driving that I'm doing. And also remember that we are on 265/75 R16 tires, which are nearly an inch larger than stock. So you might be asking yourself, just what is this modification? Well, I have it sitting on my driver's seat here, so let's take a look. It's the Tactus Open Port 2.0, but it's not just that. We will be using this open port. This plugs into your OBD2 port, and we will be installing the Orange Virus tune, which again is TacomaWorld's largest and most favorite mod for these 3rd generation Tacomas. So as with a lot of vehicles, the actual installation of this tune does not actually start in the truck. It starts here on your laptop. Now, I did start this a couple days ago, and the first step is to get your identification numbers for both your computer and your truck. You'll then have to send that in to Orange Virus Tuning, and they'll send you the tune from there. The reason for this is they want to ensure that you're just installing this on one computer and one truck. Now obviously they'll sell you as many of these tunes as you want, but again, they did work hard for this. They have put a lot of time and research and development into this tune, and they want to make sure they're getting their money's worth, which I feel like is perfectly reasonable. Now they also have this great instruction manual on their website and TacomaWorld. This has changed significantly from the earlier versions, but this one was very straightforward. But as you can see, we are ready. The tune is already installed on my computer, and the next step, as you can read here, is flashing the truck. So let's go out to the truck and get started. So the first step here is to go under your dash. You can see your OBD2 port right there. Again, this Tactus Open Port 2.0 just plugs right into that, and it'll start flashing once you get it plugged in. Then you'll take the other end, which is a USB, and plug that directly into your computer. So next we'll have to go ahead and turn on the truck. Now you don't want your foot on the brake. If you do have one of these push button start trucks, you'll just want to go ahead and hit it twice. And as you can see, it'll say ignition on, check charging system, everything like that. You will want to make sure that your AC is turned down, your fan and everything is turned off. That draws battery. Obviously, having your radio and all like that draws battery. And your truck will continue to beep at you and say check engine, all like that. But you do need your truck off at this point. But you do want to maximize your battery life by turning all your accessories off. So go ahead and click on P5 Flash here. Select Run. So now I'll go ahead and select Flash It. We'll go to our tune here. Again, we are running the 91 octane fuel, or 91 octane tune rather, but we are running 93 octane fuel, which is as they suggest. So after selecting Flash It, we had to hit OK, meaning that we did acknowledge that all of the options are turned off. And as you can see, the truck is going through some different settings here. It is saying that it is overriding the current tune. As you can see, we are 48% complete there, now up to 50%. Honestly, this is going a lot quicker than I was expecting. I was expecting this to go a long time, but again, this is a fairly quick process. You can see we're getting a lot of different warning messages there. But what this is doing is it's not just reflashing one part of the truck. It's tuning the engine, the transmission, your pedal sensitivity, everything is changing because of this tune. So now it says the operation is complete. The truck seems to verify that. It's not saying the brake override or anything like that anymore. Please turn ignition switch to off. So we'll do that. So as you can see here, the file is now completed successfully. The truck is off, and we'll go ahead and try and start the vehicle. Everything starts up as normally, so I think we are good to go. So now, to the best of my knowledge, everything is installed, and the process was really a lot easier than both of us were imagining. But now comes my favorite part. So we'll go ahead, put the Tactrix OpenPort 2.0 here in the back, because we're done communicating with the truck. Put the laptop here in the back, set off, and go for a drive. All right, so setting off here with the Orange Virus tune. Gotta wait for traffic, unfortunately. I'm ready to get going.
I know. We gotta get this thing tested.
All right, so try to ease out here. Oh, the pedal is definitely more sensitive. There's definitely no denying that. Okay. Well, that's it has some more get up and go, definitely.
Absolutely. It's like not quite as aggressive as ECT.
No, but it definitely holds the RPM a little bit higher, and when you kind of dip into the throttle, there's no real delay. I mean, before, these trucks, since they came out, especially with the automatic transmission here, were classified as pokey. I would say that's a fairly
pokey, very hesitant,
yeah,
things like that.
I think that's a fair assessment. You know, I'm very happy with my truck. I love my truck, but it is definitely no speed demon. They're definitely tuned from the factory for economy instead of performance. But here, I mean, we're going, you know, 35, 40 miles an hour. You just barely dip into the throttle, it shifts down, it's ready to go. There's no, you know, before it seems like you would hit the throttle, just give it a little poke, nothing would happen. You ease on, ease on, ease on, and a lot of times, at least it seems like with my truck, you'd be at half throttle before anything happened.
Yeah, mine too. Absolutely.
But with this, I mean, you just barely, a little bit more pressure with your big toe, and this thing's ready to go. I mean, it is a really, really big difference. All right, so merging out here onto the highway, go ahead and give it a little half throttle run. Oh, good Lord. Oh, wow. That back end about broke loose. Did you feel that?
I did.
That
wow.
That revved about 5,000 RPMs. I kid you not, that was a half throttle run. That was
wow.
no more than that.
No.
That's amazing. And we got up to speed quick. I mean, when you heard me get off the throttle, we were already at 60. So I don't know what you keyboard warriors at home just felt like, but that was pretty quick. It definitely felt less pokey than before. Wow, that's...
I mean, I'm not even the one driving it. I can tell that it's acting way different. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just probably a quarter pedal now. We're going up into some mountains here on the interstate, but it's holding speed just fine. We're running right at 2,500 RPM. Normally coming out here, we were looking closer to 3,500.
I was going to say normally it would be like in, I don't know, third gear, going up the hill maybe.
No, we're in sport mode here. Yeah, we're in fourth right now. ECT mode is not on. We never ever drive with ECT mode on unless you are towing. Obviously, it is a good bit different for that application. But honestly, ECT, electronically controlled transmission, I don't think Toyota really had that put in these trucks just for daily driving. I think that was more for when you really have a load or something like that. And because of that, when you do drive with ECT power on, you do get significantly lower fuel economy. I mean, it does hold the gears longer and everything like that, but you do definitely suffer from fuel economy. But I mean, I'm barely on the pedal at all now. It's holding the gear just fine. Again, before, it seems like as soon as you let off the throttle, it would want to shift, you know, go right into that fifth or sixth gear just for, you know, save a little bit better fuel economy.
Yeah.
Here, it definitely wants to hold that a little bit better. We're just starting to go down the other side now. Now it kicks down. That's a really big difference.
Yeah, that's how it should act.
Right.
I mean, people were talking about it, and I even experienced this a little bit too. When you would crest a hill, sometimes it would hold the gear a little bit longer than you would think it would.
Right, when you start going down the other side.
Yeah, yeah, and then finally it would, you know, kick into, you know, fifth, sixth, whatever it should be.
Right. And this isn't doing that at all. I mean, right now we're coasting down the other side, foot's off the pedal, we're going, you know, 65 miles an hour. I mean, sixth gear, top gear, just like it ought to be. I mean, this is I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a different truck. I mean, it's still, still steers the same, everything like that.
Yeah.
But there's definitely, there's a difference here. There's absolutely something else going on. All right, so we're going to merge onto the highway here again and see how it does. Go full throttle run this time. Chirp the tires.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Shifts it right at $6,000. So there's 60. Again, that was uphill. That wasn't flat.
Right.
But that's pretty impressive.
That's pretty quick. I'd say it's reacting really well, and now it's holding gear like it should.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not trying to shift.
It feels like the truck is not intentionally trying to fight you. It feels like I'm one with the truck, I guess.
Right. A little bit more direct, I suppose.
Right. And I mean, with all these new vehicles, I mean, we are fortunate enough to have hydraulic power steering. A lot of vehicles like the Chevy Colorado have electronic power steering, but pretty much everything else in the truck is electrical. There is no true throttle cable. There is no direct, the transmission shifts electronically. I guess it's not just a mechanical piece there, but it feels like everything really is working in tune now. The truck isn't shift happy anymore. That's another main criticism of these.
They search for gears.
Right.
It
doesn't. I'm not feeling that at all.
It doesn't.
Are you?
No. And even looking at your tachometer, it doesn't look like it's been doing that at all. And I can say my truck definitely still does that. Obviously, my truck has not gone through the tuning process. But to kind of echo what Bandit was saying, you do kind of have to fight the truck in a way. Not necessarily the worst thing in the world. It's something that we've come to just realize is a part of the truck. Now, obviously, with his truck, it's going to be different that way because it's been tuned to not quite search for gears constantly, and it'll hold it, and everything it's different now. It's going to have a different reaction.
And another main thing when these trucks came out is Toyota kept pushing, they do have kind of an adaptive technology with these where they do learn your driving habits, and ultimately I think you learn the truck's driving habits as well. And the first 500 to 1,000 miles with these trucks, I think several people have contacted us and have been really unhappy. I mean, they didn't feel like the truck was working the way it should. They didn't feel like it was shifting where it should or anything like that. And again, a lot of people would fall back on, let's call them crutches, of the ACT power or the sport mode, exactly, where you can kind of manually shift it yourself. But with this, I don't really feel a need to do that. Now, obviously, we've only driven 5 miles with this. We'll be sure and give you our updated impressions. But initial impressions, I'm astounded. I mean, we've had a couple different power mods in the past. We did have a cold air intake. We're currently running the TRD intake filter. Those made a difference. The K&N cold air intake that I had on this truck, it might have made the truck slightly faster. It might have improved pedal response just in the slightest bit, but I think the majority of the difference was the sound. And with this, there's no major sound difference. I mean, we didn't turn a wrench on the truck. We plugged something in, ran a computer software, and here we are. And it took really 5 minutes to install. And
super easy to do.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you just have to contact back and forth a little bit and get different codes and whatnot. But past that, it seems to be a pretty simple process. And really what this tune does, I don't know if you had gone over this any amount, really is that you're changing a lot of the software for the engine, the transmission. All of the computers and stuff are now running at a bit of a different tune. So kind of to talk about what he said with the learning process that Toyota puts into place into their automatic transmissions, there's all these different paths. I guess the best way to describe it is kind of like a web, and if you are a more aggressive driver, then it goes down this learning path, and if you're a more conservative driver and you're easier on the pedal, then it'll go this way, and if you're somewhere in the middle, it'll kind of go in between the two, do a mixture. So what OVTune has done is kind of, I guess, simplified that process and hasn't made it so there are so many different learning I guess paths that the transmission can take. It's a lot more simple, and it's going to drive, I guess, a little bit more linearly than, say, Toyota's tune would.
Right, and another thing, we're running a tune specific for a certain octane of fuel. Again, we're running 93 octane fuel. We're running the 91 octane tune, which it says right on their website that that is preferred if you can't get 91 octane, which again we can't here in Virginia. But you're basically optimizing the truck for a more narrow set of conditions. You know, I'm pretty sure these trucks, when they leave the factory, could probably run on 70 octane fuel up to probably 100 octane fuel.
Right.
But we're saying like, hey, we're going to be running the 93 octane, and we're going to optimize the truck for that type of fuel, and you're going to get the best performance out of that truck. Basically, you're narrowing the parameters to get better performance,
Right.
and it's certainly apparent here just, in a couple minutes of driving this truck. So obviously we have only been driving the truck here for a few minutes now, and it will take some good time to get used to the tune and to see fuel economy numbers and everything like that. But we will be sure to keep you all updated in the coming weeks and months, and especially once wintertime comes and once we can get the truck off-road. It really will be a good test to see how it performs with the tune under all these different conditions. But we will leave the information to Orange Virus Tuning in the description of this video. If you're interested in any of their pricing or anything like that, be sure and check them out. This is a little bit more of a pricier tune. There are cheaper options, but we'll go over that in a different video. But this one, ultimately, and why we chose it and why we're spending our time and money on this is, again, it is TacomaWorld's favorite modification. If you all go on TacomaWorld and look up this thread, it is very expansive, and a lot of people said the truck is a completely different animal, and at least initially I would absolutely agree with that. But there are some cheaper options. We'll be sure and kind of weigh those in another video, so please subscribe, stay tuned for all that. We do really appreciate your all's support, and we'll catch you in the next video. So thank you very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys.
So go ahead and turn it off here after our drive. And as you can see, we got 19.5 miles to the gallon, which honestly, for as aggressively as we were driving, doesn't seem that bad. But again, let us know what you all think in the comments below. Again, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.